Good morning, traders. So, still using the Bull-Williams alligator or the Bull-Williams theory, how do we trade the Aussie today, South African top 40? Now, I am looking at the monthly at the moment, and it's not looking pretty. I mean, this picture on the monthly does not bode well for anything bullish at the moment. But there are a few warning signs that are starting to appear. So for now, ignore the alligator. Yes, we've broken below the alligator, but remember, from a price action perspective, we need to come back and test that alligator. Okay, so that is the most probable trade, is that we're going to find some support somewhere, come back and test the break of the alligator, and then we'll bounce back down again. Okay, and that bounce back down is going to be the telling move. So remember, this is monthly, so it could take a year, could take 2 years, could take 3 years. I mean, this previous breakouts over there. Okay, so just do that. Okay, if you are awake this morning, you will see exactly what's going on. Okay, so you often have when you have a break of a consolidation pattern like this over 1, 2, 3 years was a consolidation pattern. So it consolidated, it broke. Okay, you normally expect a retest, but often what happens is you come back to test the apex, so where these two lines cross. And you can do it on any time frame, but you'll see price comes back to the apex to test that level. And if that level holds, then normally you have a proper move to the upside. Okay, if that level fails, then often they refer to this as the fake out, but it's not really the fake out because the first target was hit. So the first touch to the bottom and the first touch to the top is your level. Some people take it from there and others take it from the break. Okay, so ever so slightly, we didn't quite get there. We tried twice to get there, tried a third time to get there, and then fell off. Okay, so from a price action perspective, this is playing out as expected, as it should. Broken the consolidation up, and then consolidated, and then second move down to come and test this level. We are at the level. Oscillator is grouped to the downside. Okay, let's just look at the daily. Daily, we've ended up, let's just clean that mess up. We've ended up with a pin bar. Okay, pin bar off a monthly level. So a very strong monthly level, and we have a pin bar. So that is fairly significant. The other thing to bear in mind is whatever level is here. Okay, now what I want to do is just get to the weekly, because why? You got to ask yourself a question. Why are we failing to get through here? And you can see that was lower than these two. So what is here? You can see there was a gap. There was a daily gap. Open, close. So daily gap was done. There was also a gap over here, which was closed. And I can't really see, apart from we've got a few inside tails here, but there's no reason for this area to be holding up price on the weekly. And on the monthly, the level that we most likely should be watching is that area there. Okay, so we do have an inside tail here. This red bar here on the monthly is an inside tail, and that was tagged, but there's nothing really else. Okay, so the only thing that's here is this consolidation of the triangle. Right. So the next thing to have a look at is, let's look at the 4 hour. And 4 hour is really telling at the moment. Okay, look at these gaps to the upside, big strong magnets to the upside, nice pin bar with a confirmation bar. So the only challenge that we have here is this is a good 790 point pin bar. So what are we looking for? I'm inclined to believe we should be looking for longs. Okay, we should really be looking for longs at this stage. The big question at the moment would be whether we get in here at the open or whether we wait. Okay, non-farm payrolls today, bear that in mind. There was a first gap, there's a second gap. So both those gaps are closed. Okay, both gaps are closed. Now we've got these big magnets to the upside. So this is also wise band number one. Okay, so it is so far from the alligator. There is big divergence from the alligator. This is wise band number one. This bar here was your first entry. You now need to wait for 3 green bars on the awesome oscillator for your second entry. And then your third entry is going to be a fractal break. And this bar here should turn out to be a fractal today. Well, it should already be a fractal. So the top of this bar should be a fractal. Fractal to the downside and a fractal to the upside. Okay, so that's what we can see on the 4 hour. On the 1 hour, I see a little bit of a wedge forming. So I would expect a little bit of a pullback or consolidation, one of the two, but I'm looking for this oscillator here to get out of this negative 20 zone, come down to the minus 80 zone. So this is the Williams percentage R, and the period is 9. I want that to come down to this level on the hour, just like in the past. Okay, so wherever it gets down into this area, I look for a level, and then I'm looking to go long. Okay, so that's kind of my trade at the moment. That's definitely the trade setup I'm looking for. The Dax and the Dow are at significant levels as well. So, and I think I don't have the S&P open or the Nasdaq, but the Nasdaq is also at a fairly significant level, and we do follow the Nasdaq. So let's just look what's happening with our good old friend Tencent. Oh, lo and behold, Tencent's up 2.6%, and Rand got a bit of a hammering yesterday into the close. It's hovering at 14.04 at the moment. So, not sure what was going on there. Probably more political noise. Yeah, so I think that's kind of my view on this at the moment. I would expect us to a couple of things here. The first thing is this level was tested and then we closed above it. Okay, so the next logical level in play is this inside tail here. Okay, the next inside tail is quite far away. It's up there, and that's also going to be a significant level because it'll line up with the alligator as well. Okay, so don't be too surprised if we do a bit of a rally this morning up to what's that, 45,100 or 4500, yeah, 45,100, and then we move to the downside. Not a big move to the downside, so it's not something that I actually want to be chasing. I think it's more going to be a case of people getting out the market before non-farm payrolls and waiting for non-farm payrolls to play out this afternoon. So that is going to happen around, I think, 3:30 South African time. Okay, so there's another train of thought here, is that this was the initial move down, this is a consolidation, and if this is a wedge break, we're looking for another move down, equal to this first move. And I think let's just draw that in so that we can just make, oh man, that level there. I want to draw it in, and I'm going to draw it from there because that's what I expect to happen. And then we can move this bottom line to there, and then just going to look to the left. We'll have to do this on a daily. So I'll break through everything. Okay, there is another gap further down. Okay, so now you can see what the bears are trying to do. So the bears are trying to move this price down to come and close the next gap. That's what they're after. The bulls will be looking at the low here to form a double bottom and to look for a move to the upside. Okay, so yeah, still a tussle. I'd like to see some kind of decent setup like a double bottom, but this here is telling me that there is more downside coming today. And it may just be a small amount of downside, or alternatively, this may actually be the consolidation. There it is there. So you can see how this is a proper wedge. Okay, so the trick here, I can see the opening half hour, it did work out. We got your targets, but then we had a rally again, which is fairly not rare. It seems to happen often on Aussie, but yeah. So 30 minutes, we're into the alligator. I would expect us to break down as first target is going to be 44,242. If we form anything like this on the half hour at this level, it's going to be worth getting in long with a fairly tight stop loss, because that could be the setup you're looking for. Okay, so that's kind of my view of this at the moment. I'm not really going to trade this until 3:30, so I'll trade the late afternoon session with the non-farm payrolls, but I'm not really going to chase it in the morning, because I think what's going to happen is normal non-farm payroll day is we're going to just meander, and there'll be a few institutions pushing price up or down, but the majority of the people, volumes will be low, and they'll be waiting for a decent entry. And to me, the decent entry is going to be a double bottom. And I think that's the common theme across all three instruments that I do my videos on, is they're all setting up for a potential double bottom, which is fairly interesting, to say the least, because maybe the Christmas rally may actually rally to the upside and not to the downside. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I am also concerned about the geopolitical tensions with the USA and China at the moment. So I think the USA is poking a very big bear, and China's being very quiet and reserved about their reactions at the moment, but I don't think it's going to hold much longer. So anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Hope it helps, and keep those stops tight and enjoy your weekend. I'll catch up with you next week. Cheers for now.